What's happening, everybody? Jeff Lightsy Jr. here with the Black Boss Channel, the Victory Formation Sports Show. Be sure to check us out every single day on the Black Boss Channel and my personal YouTube. Now, the Golden State Warriors, as we know, they were the modern day dynasty. They were the latest dynasty in the NBA. They went to 5 straight NBA finals. They won 3 championships during that span, and they had some great players, all-time greats. Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green was a really good player. But now they've been the laughingstock of the NBA the last couple of years. Last year, they had the worst record in the league, and they got the number 2 overall pick. And this year, they're out of the playoff hunt after Klay Thompson went down with the season-ending injury before the season started. And so recently, you've seen them in the headlines, not for basketball because they're terrible, right? Like nothing to do with basketball, but it's everything to do with what they're doing off the basketball court, what they're saying to the media. So first, it was Steve Kerr. This man had the nerve to say, and it gets funny. It's pretty hilarious. Steve Kerr went on a podcast and said that last year's team, the team that had to play through went through a global pandemic and went the worst record in the NBA. He said that team was more enjoyable to coach than the 2019 team with Kevin Durant that went to the finals. Think about this. He's saying a team that had the worst record in the NBA, was more enjoyable to coach than the last year with Kevin Durant that went to the finals that saw Kevin and Klay both get hurt in the NBA finals. Now, his reasoning for saying that was that he was able to teach a lot more, and it wasn't all the injuries that took place. Like Kevin got hurt, Klay got hurt, DeMarcus Cousins got hurt, like all of that stuff. And then basically the locker room was toxic, right? Like Kevin Durant had had 1 foot in, 1 foot out, essentially, had his eye wandering. Draymond was saying stuff to KD. The locker room wasn't the way it should be. And Kevin Durant responded to him and said, this is hilarious that you say that team was more enjoyable to coach. The worst team in basketball was more enjoyable to coach than my last year. And a reporter called him out on it. It was like, his headline was, Steve Kerr says last year's team, the worst team in the NBA, was more enjoyable to coach than Kevin Durant's last year, which is true. He didn't call Kevin Durant out by name, but that's what he said. Like that is, you can get mad all you want. He got mad at the reporter and tried to chew him out or whatever, but that's what you said. So anyway, that's one way they're trying to stay relevant. Once again, they're not winning basketball games. They're like 10th in the West. They're going to be in the lottery again. And so then a couple days later, Draymond Green has the nerve to say not only is he the best defender in basketball, the NBA right now, he says that he is the best defender in the history of basketball. He is the best defender in the history of the NBA. Now, if that ain't blasphemous, I ain't never heard nothing that was blasphemous before. I can't say that word for some reason. Whatever. It was ridiculous. It was absurd. It was just plain out stupid, dumb. Like, come on, Draymond. Like, statistically, you're not even the best defender in the league right now. That's probably Rudy Gobert. Hell, Giannis won a Defensive Player of the Year last year. There's a lot of players that can go in there. Ben Simmons or whatever. But through the history of the NBA, like, do guys like Ben Wallace and Dennis Rodman and Dikembe Mutombo and, do these guys not exist? Dwight Howard, did they never play in the NBA? Did they not win 3 and 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards? Like what? Like, are you serious? But that goes to show, you say something like that, you can say, in my opinion, I think I'm the best defender. And it was almost like, I wish I could play it, but it was almost like he was trying to he said the statement and then was trying to convince himself that he really meant it, that he believed it. Like, yeah, I'm the best defender. In my opinion, I'm the best. It's like, yeah, we'll clap it up for confidence because we love confidence on this channel. I love confidence. I love guys that are confident and feel like they're the best and they want to be the best. But then there's confidence and then there's reality and just plain stupidity, right? Draymond Green has been a really good defender throughout the course of his career. Draymond Green has essentially overachieved in his NBA career. He was the 5th pick of the 2nd round, right? Like during his draft, his first year or 2 in the league, he didn't even play, right? So he has overachieved. He's been a 5-time all defensive selection. He's won one Defensive Player of the Year award. He's went to 5 straight finals and won 3 NBA championships. Like, clap it up. Like, you were a part of the modern day dynasty. But let's not be silly. I get it. You guys suck now. You guys suck last year without Clay and without Steph, and Draymond missed a whole bunch of games. You suck this year without Clay and KD left and whatever. So I get it. You guys are used to being in the news cycle. The Warriors are used to people writing stuff about them, whether they hate them or love them, used to people talking about them, used to seeing their highlights, used to winning ball games, used to winning championships. And now that you guys are terrible, that you guys are a bad basketball team, you still want to be loved or still want to be loved or hated or talked about, relevant, like you were when you were making the finals 5 straight years, like you were when Kevin Durant was on the team, like you were when you guys were just, running through the league, just beating the hell out of everybody, winning 73 games, doing all of this stuff. But that's not the case, at least not right now. And I don't know if you'll ever get back to that point, right? Like a lot of people believe that you will, but Clay's had 2 major leg injuries, a torn ACL and MCL and an Achilles injury, 2 horrific injuries, 2 major injuries. And we see Kevin Durant was looking like Kevin Durant when he came back off the Achilles, but he's missed the last 2 months of basketball. So there's no guarantee Klay Thompson will return. And Klay ain't half the player Kevin Durant is, we're just being honest. So there's no guarantee Klay will come back and be the same Klay Thompson. And that means if he's not the same Klay Thompson, you'll never be the same Warriors. And Draymond is probably on the back burner of his career. And Steph, is still Steph's still Steph, but how long is he going to be able to do this by himself, essentially? So what I'm saying is the Warriors are doing everything they can to stay relevant because they were so used for a 5-year span. They were the cream of the crop of the NBA. And 5 years is a long time. 5 years, 3 championships, 5 straight finals, the cream of the crop of the NBA. The only person that got more airtime than the Warriors during that 5-year span, or just as much or more, was LeBron James, whatever team he was playing for. But now that they're not talked about, it's been 2 years in a row that people aren't talking about them, aren't featuring their highlights, or aren't, good or bad. Because that's the thing. Everything talked about the Warriors wasn't always good. Even that last year with Kevin Durant, everything wasn't good. They won a bunch of games. They went to the finals, but everybody knew Kevin Durant was headed to New York. They thought he was headed to the Knicks and going to Brooklyn. Right? But they always knew Kevin Durant had 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But at least they were still getting talked about. They were still getting media play. They were still getting airtime. And now they're not getting anything because they're just not a good basketball team. And so Steve Kerr says some ridiculousness saying the worst team in basketball was more enjoyable than the team that went to the finals. And Draymond Green coming out saying he's the best defender the NBA has ever seen. It's just their way of trying to get attention again. And it's kind of funny. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Once again, I'm Jeff Lightsy Jr. from the Victory Formation Sports Show, the Black Boss channel. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button on your way out.